Hello Woody, what have you been up to in here, mate? What have you been up to in here then? Hey? Good boy. You alright Woody? Hey? You a good boy Woody? Hello. Well, as you saw there, I got Woody out. It's the 6th of June, we're in the middle of our moult, and I've been getting Woody out quite regularly, so that's probably why he's not too bad on my fist. Plus, during the hunting season, we hunt 7 days a week. So our relationship we have is pretty good. He's pretty calm. I go into the mews and he will just step on my fist. Today he's in my music room, so he's a little bit different. He's having a little look round, but because we hunt 7 days a week, it's probably why he's like he is, and he's not too bad. But I should imagine if I was hunting once a week, because that's all you can do if you work 5 days a week, then things may be different. I know traditionally you should, or most people will leave their hawk in the mews, let him molt out, and some people will even have no contact or no view of their hawk. That's my little dog just walking through, the white one. So he's having a little look down at him. He sees the dark one chewing more. Anyway, last week I had the pleasure of going round to Highclere Castle. It was a couple of hours drive. Fantastic weekend. The British Falconry and Raptor Fair. There was so much going on there. If you've not seen the video, it's the one before this one. Check it out. And it was great to see a couple of free people that often comment on this channel or watch this channel, as well as others, which was fantastic. When I got this hawk 3 years ago, I had no idea that I'd start to meet different people in the falconry circle, and through YouTube I've met some really great people. And the thing about YouTube is you meet these people and you get advice and tips from them. It's just brilliant. And 2 weeks ago I had the pleasure of a sort of a shortish interview on the Practical Animal channel. Now, this channel is all about different animals and conservation. They've had some fantastic falconers on there, so I felt really honoured to be asked. Icarus Falconry's been on there, which is Dave Sharp Nature Boy. If you've not seen that channel, check that out, that's good. So the Practical Animal channel had a short interview of about 15 minutes, 20 minutes, and it was an experience for me. So I had an interview all about my hawk and the way I do things, a little bit about manning, and I was explaining to John Beaumont about the fact that YouTube brings people together, and that's what's different about falconry now. We have that sort of social media, whereas you could be quite isolated years ago. So now we have lots of contacts, and while I was at Highclere Castle I met a couple of people, really nice people that I would never have met before if it wasn't through YouTube. So that's the Practical Animal channel. If you check that out, there's quite a few interviews on there with some really good falconers. Not myself, because I've only been doing this a short few years, but you've got Jemima Perry-Jones as well on there, and many others. Check through. But it's not just about falconry, it's about all sorts of conservation, ranging from falconry, elephants, monkeys, apes, and insects. There's loads on there. It's worth a look, and you know, if you like it, subscribe, because it's a I watch every interview because I learn so much. It's not always easy to think about what to talk about and make a video during the molt. So quite often I'll get the hawk out and show you how he's molting and that, but I've been looking for the Harris hawk someone lost several years ago. I had another look for that, and whilst I was out I videoed a few different bits and pieces, and I found a little bird's nest and videoed that. So I'm going to put that on the end of this video. And I was asked a question about food. What do I feed this hawk during the molt? Well, he eats whatever he can eat, so I don't weigh anything out. I just know from experience what sort of amount he'll eat, and I just put it in there. And by the next day he's either left a bit, and then from what he's left I work out that he wants a little bit more. But it's just a sort of experience thing. He's at fat weight now, and his fat weight is surprisingly not as heavy as I thought he was going to be. When I first started feeding him up, his weight went right up to just over £2, and it's sort of gorging, and then slowly his body metabolism lets him know what he needs, and then you can see that because I was weighing him during the molt, I saw that slow decrease in weight, and he averages now between £1.12 and a half, £1.13, £1.13¾ back down to £1.12. He sort of fluctuates, but he only eats what he needs to eat, so I can't seem to fatten him up anymore. So I'll put food in there, and he might just leave it and then come back to it later on, and then he'll eat it in the evening. So it's quite interesting doing it this way, weighing him during the molt, because I can see exactly what his fat weight's been, and I've learned a lot from that. But I think the best thing to do is whatever, if you're just getting a Harris hawk, I would say leave it alone during the molt, let it molt out, and don't get it out, because all these feathers that are coming through in the blood, if they're knocked at all, you're going to damage them. But I go in there in the mews, and if this hawk was hopping around and didn't want to get on my fist, I wouldn't do it. But I've kept it going, and he's like he is, so I know that when I get him out, it's not smashing about, and he's not hurting himself, and I'm not damaging any of them feathers. He's molting well. This morning he had a primary in there, and I think he's done five of his train now, and there's some sort of, I'll do a little bit of footage, but some of them are about an inch long and some of them an inch from the bottom. He's got 3 on the go, so I think he's done 5 of them now. We're in the middle of the molt. He's got another 7 to go, and it's all going well. Although he's tolerating me like this, what I have noticed, he doesn't tolerate anyone else during the molt. So if anyone else goes out there to say hello to him, he's right down, wings open, and having a go at them. Even my wife, that he knows well, on occasions he's doing that to her. So his attitude has changed greatly, but he's still tolerating me. And I'm hoping that when we come round to hunting, the same as we've been doing for the last 2 seasons, 7 days a week, this season, going through the molt like this, I'll just drop his weight down and we should be away. And I think our bond is going to be even better this year. That's what I'm hoping. As far as I can see, it's not doing him any harm. But as I say, if you're new at it, it is best to leave him. You don't want to be damaging him, any of those feathers. So going on to that question I was asked, what do you feed him? As I say, he's eating what he likes, so he's eating rabbit up to as much as he wants to eat, and then he'll just stop eating anyway, so that he's not over fat, and his weight shows me that. And when I think he's sort of £1.12, £1.13, hovering around there, he's not a big male, and I was flying him up to sometimes 110 and maybe more. So he's doing all right. Now, he caught during the winter on the season, he caught about 20 odd, 22 rabbits and they're all rabbits flushed by the dog. There's no multiple kill, so it's one catch, one feed, and then we come home, and that's by the dog. So that's not a bad number for a hawk that's just catching pretty much on his own with a dog flushing, but it's not multiple. He caught 3 or 4 pheasant. He didn't catch any woodcock this year, and he caught a couple of pigeon, which I don't like him getting on, but that's quite an achievement, catching a pigeon. One of them he had in the tree. There's a video on that as well, where I couldn't get him out of the tree, but he was having a bit of a feast on it. So what I'll do is just nip in to where we keep all the food. I'm going to pop him back on his perch out there, and I'll just show you my little setup, what I do, where I keep his food and what I do daily just to feed the hawk, and the sort of amounts he's eating. But like I say, the amount is, it becomes a case of seeing what he's eating, because you don't want food laying about in the mews that he's not eating and there's all flies on it. So there's another thing I've been doing, is when I do feed him, I'll try and feed him a little bit late in the afternoon when it's got a little bit cooler and maybe the flies are dissipated, and he's about ready for it then. But he'll have a look what I feed him, and if it's, maybe I've put a bit of pheasant in there, he's not so keen on it and he might not even touch it. But if I put a piece of chicken in there, generally he's straight on that, he likes that. So we're going to the garage now. It's a bit messy, and I'll just show you the fridge and the freezer and what's in there. There's a little bit of roadkill in there, which could be a little bit controversial to some people, but if I know when it was knocked down, I use it, and it sort of recycles. When I say about these sort of foods, you get to know what to feed them, that's the same sort of thing as when you're flying them as well. I could almost fly this hawk after a month or so at it, that's daily, and pretty much tell you what his weight's going to be just by watching him. And it's not until I've seen what he's doing that I decide how much food to feed him during the hunt. But I do weigh him every time we go out, just so I know, but usually I can pretty much guess what he is. And I should think in the old days, when maybe 4,000 years ago or whatever it was, they didn't have all the sort of equipment we had, and I should imagine that's what they did then. They just knew their hawk and watched it respond and feed them accordingly. But he's certainly in good condition, he's eating well, and I'm wishing my life away, waiting for the first day I can get back out with him and get me little dog, get in the car, and go out and just walk and hunt and come back. That is, it's an honour, and to have this wild hawk that uses you to hunt for him is just great, and that's what they do. So I really look forward to that first day we're getting out. I'm not sure when it's going to be yet. I'll wait till all his feathers are down and he's hard penned, and once that happens, the cover on the ground is so bad at the moment, brambles and bush, and it's better as we get that first frost. But as soon as I can, I'm going to get this hawk out and start flying him again. I've been offered the chance to ride through the wheat fields, probably with a tractor, and fly the hawk from that. So we're going through the wheat fields, and his prey will be on the run from there, and we're going to literally fly from the tractor. That depends whether he's fully moulted at the time the farmer's doing that sort of work, and other bits of machinery as well. So I'll see how that goes. that might be quite a nice experience. That might be what we do. We might do that, but I don't know. That is it's probably a big ask what he's going to be like at that time. But I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to the season, and again, I'll video every single hunt through the week and then put the video together, so there will be lots of footage of what goes on. And at the moment, as I say, this is just the moulting and thinking of things to do, thinking of things to film, trying to make the videos carry on, but it's not easy because really there's not a lot going on. He's just dropping a few feathers here and there, and there's no hunting. But I'm going to show you the fridge now, have a little look, and thanks for watching again, and we'll see you next time. So we've got one tail there, a couple of inches from being down, new one there, and there's another one there just coming. That's a new one there, old. New one coming down there, old, so doing well. This morning I picked up a primary. Here's my little setup. I've got this freezer, that's the overflow freezer. If he catches plenty of stuff, but these are just his freezers and fridges. So he's got two freezers. There's the little fridge there, and that's all I do is put what he's going to eat daily in there. So that's going to be fed today. Open this one up, and here's all his stuff here. There's pigeon, that's roadkill, blackbird, that's not for him, that's for my mate to feed his merlins on. It's just what I picked up out the road. I saw that one get knocked down, and it's got loads of rabbit in there, some rabbits, pheasant all cut up ready to go, all portioned up. In fact, I'll get a piece of that rabbit out now, and that just goes in the freezer, sorry, in the fridge. That just goes in the fridge, and by tomorrow I'll be able to portion it up a little bit more. Down here it's got a squirrel and a low moult chick. That was roadkill. All this rabbit is what he's caught. He's got plenty in there, but he will eat it all slowly but surely. So that's what we got. Woody's freezer, Woody's fridge.